Leadership. What makes a good leader? This is a video presentation by Tree Miller for CLDR 301, Intro to Christian Leadership, with Professor Anthony Adams. Leadership concepts. What is the definition of a leader? Is a leader born or made? What are some of the most important characteristics of a good leader? It is my hope that you will glean the answers to these questions during this presentation. The next series of slides are the result of my interview with Shane Wheeler, Senior Pastor of Upper Room Family Church. Tell me about your career path and career decisions. He told me that he always wanted to be in business and be his own boss. He always enjoyed working with his hands and building things and doing construction. So he started his own company called Shane's Drywall. What is your background in terms of education and experience? He has no formal training. And he kind of chuckled a bit when he said that he attended the School of Hard Knocks. He's been a pastor for almost 20 years. In your opinion, what does a leader do that distinguishes them from others? He sets the example. And he lives his life at a higher standard. Do you believe there is a difference between leading and managing? Emphatically, yes. Anyone can manage. All it requires is the ability to tell those under you what to do. They do what they're told because they have to. Leaders, on the other hand, are special. People follow them because they want to, because they admire and respect them. How did you learn leadership? First of all, his main thing was through trial and error. No one really wants to learn things that way, but sometimes you have no other choice. Lucky for him, he had a father who set a good example for him to follow. And once he became a pastor, he had a mentor through the Assembly of God Church. What are the most important lessons about leadership that you have learned? First, he said, delegate, delegate, delegate. You cannot do it all by yourself. The second thing was not everyone was meant to be a leader. It takes a special heart and calling to be a leader. You either have it or you don't. Leaders are held to a higher standard. Sometimes they are even put on pedestals because of this. So be prepared to live under the watchful eye of your followers. What do you think is the most difficult aspect of being a leader? You cannot please everyone all the time, no matter how hard you try. Sometimes you have to do things you don't particularly like. Being a leader does not necessarily mean that you get to shirk the dirty work. And lastly, the buck stops here. No matter what happens in your organization, when you are the top dog, it ultimately is your responsibility, good or bad. What are your goals and ambitions for the future? He told me that he felt that God is calling him to leave the pastorate. He wants to be a trainer, mentor, recruiter, and overseer for pastors in our area. And he wants to plant churches because we desperately need them in this area. What advice would you offer for leaders of the future? Take your time when making decisions, if at all possible. Contrary to what you might have heard or think, you do not know it all. So know when to ask for help. Build a network of people you can call on for specific tasks. And always, always seek God's guidance in major decisions. The hyperlink below leads to a short video about how to be a leader. This short video gives some interesting factoids about why women make better business leaders. And I'm not trying to be chauvinistic here, but it was a very interesting video, so I hope you check it out. The hyperlink below leads to a short video about how to be a leader. Some of the things that are brought out and talked about in this video are: don't be afraid to stand alone. Nurture your followers, and once you have one follower, more will join in. What is the definition of leadership? There are as many definitions of leadership as there are people who have tried to define it. So I will give you the definition from our text. Leadership is a process whereby an individual influences a group of individuals to achieve a common goal. And that's from Robert Northouse. Is a leader born or made? Some believe they are born, others believe that they are made. I believe that great leaders are born. I believe that in Pastor Shane's case, he was a born leader. That was God's plan for him, always. However, with the right training and motivation, I believe a leader can be trained. What are some characteristics of a good leader? And I underlined some because this is only some of the characteristics. They must have a servant's heart. They must be committed to excellence. They must have exemplary character. They must be compassionate, confident, and know their shortcomings. They must be humble, and they must be authentic. There are probably as many characteristics of a good leader as there are definitions. These were just my top 8. I want to finish off my presentation with a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. Our chief want is someone who will inspire us to be what we know we could be. Thank you.